easy. Comfy, easy, and breathable arm warmers, and the cuffs fit over
Hey
perfectly.
everyone!
Speaking of the cuffs, I want to make this way more feathery, so I've just got like a bunch of different feathers of
I'm just
various colors
hopping onto
and
the
lengths
live
and
here,
shapes. I have a bit of
so
a quick,
you
dry,
guys can get
strong
to
glue
know
here that I'm going to put on both
my
sides at the bottom of
characters
the feather, and I'm going to press that between the fur fibers,
each
trying to get it as close to the base of the fur as possible. And I'm just going to build this up until I'm happy with it.
know
I'm not
about
going
which
super crazy because I
a
still want to be
character,
able to
a
use my
certain
hands
character,
without the feathers getting in the way. But
just
I
ask,
love how these look with all
and
the extra
I
detail on
will
them. So I've got pretty much the entire base
tell you
done.
more about
Last
them,
time I
and
did make myself a little like capelet, sort of cloak type thing.
tell you more
which
about
I'm still
them,
pretty happy
and
with, not gonna lie. It's made out of like an upholstery
like
fabric, and I've got this really beautiful little wintry style trim on the bottom. I did make, as you can see, this sort of like fluffy, feathery top to it, and I'm not 100% sure if I love it. I tend to find it's a little bit too much around my neck, especially since my hair, which is also going to be like white, fluffy with feathers, is right there. It kind of makes it all one big loopy thing. I don't know if that makes any sense, and I'm probably overthinking this for a silly little owl character. So I actually have this little capelet, which I actually made for a friend's wedding earlier this year. It's literally just like a semicircular fabric with a little bit of a hole in the top where my head goes, and this is pure wool, and I even lined it with a pure silk satin. This was literally like a scrap of satin. Like, this is literally about the size of the piece of satin it was. So I think I used this relatively well, and because it was only really an off-cut, I don't feel too bad that I'm going to throw this whole thing in the pot of diet. Don't know what happened with the audio there, but it's going in the coffee bath right after I finished with round 2 for the pants. Round 2 coffee pants, let's go! So I ended up putting like a smidge of actual like fabric dye in with the coffee pot this time. This stuff seemed to soak up the dye like a sponge. I was a little bit worried. Segue number 3. This was the first TikTok that I ever posted of Juniper, and I think something about her resonated with people. Partly because it was 2020, we're all in full lockdown during the unprecedented times, TM, and into her I channeled a sense of like comfort, gentleness, and silliness. And I think those are the kind of things we all needed more of at that point. And this was a time where like TikTok and Instagram were less rampant with cyberbullying and cringe culture,
since we're
and there
bringing
was
someone
more of a sense of earnestness existing in these spaces. Anyway, the more little skits I made, the more personality seemed to develop.
We will go over which characters.
A potion maker, alchemist, friendly but also
Thank you! It's not just a headband, it's
to give you guys a 30-page backstory, including her sister,
like a
the
flower
family,
crown with a wreath.
in-universe
And
origins
she comes with,
of harpy kind and
and it's
subspecies,
like the
and
wreath,
the creation myths, and the ties
the crown that one of my characters wear, and her name is Penelope. So since we are starting with Penelope,
the second I put my cloak into the
thank you, Julian S. I'm not gonna say your last name because I don't want to butcher it.
Cosplay stuff, and it's just a buttload of EVA foam. This stuff specifically,
and just to let you guys know,
foam, so
please do not flirt with me if you're a guy,
but it's also very light.
because
something like feathers.
I do not swing like that.
The main reason
my
I'm
flag
not
up
using
there.
the polycell packing foam, which I've used for the previous really big wings that I've made, mostly comes down to the fact that those
I'm 20 years old,
quite
so
delicate, even though they are very light.
Thank
I do need
you.
the ones on my arms to be a little bit stronger and be able to take a little bit of a beating, because they're going to be on my arms. I wear this costume all the damn time,
And
which means it's going to be
thank you.
She's at LARP events, at the imaginary Ren fairs that I wish I could go to. And you saw at the start how big my previous
slap
was, because
anyone
I didn't really
who's
have
in
them
the
primed and painted up properly.
gay community,
also, I get irrationally excited when I get a
because
package
I've
from Women's
been
Workshop, because I
that
always
being
send you
for
a
like
packet of gummy bears too. So
since
to get the rough
2019.
length of my wings, I'm just sort of tracing out one of my old banged
I don't
up
have
hairs.
one at the top of my mind. I'm sorry, could be pause 1, 2, 3.
Because I want them to be a little bit more functional rather than just looking pretty. Like, I don't want them to really be getting in the way.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
I cut out a ton of really
sorry about
long
that. I'm
rectangles,
gonna
a
turn
couple
that
of
down right
slightly
now.
shorter, slightly thinner rectangles.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm gonna lay all of these out in like the rough wing shape already, just so I know that I've got enough of what I need. You need 2 sets
But
of this
anyway,
one for each wing and double for all the
I don't
rest.
have one on the top of my mind.
And once I know I have enough, I'm going to start cutting these out into like more of a rounded feather shape. In the past, I've done this with a hobby knife over a cutting mat. It's definitely faster and smoother, but I don't have any hobby knife blades at the moment.
I'm getting
so I'm just doing the scissors. And I'm going back over them and
okay, so which character do you want to be introduced to first?
and white feathers are just plain craft foam because it turns out I didn't buy enough of that hard light EVA foam. Each of these feathers is going to get blasted with a heat gun that is going to seal the foam
excuse
and create,
me?
like, a better
I'm not a
surface for priming
kid.
and painting.
I'm
And
an
to create a better
adult
shape with these ones, I'm just
who
gonna, like, pinch
acts
down
like
the
a kid
center.
because
It's gonna
yes,
kinda
I
mimic
do
the shape of, like,
cosplay.
what's it called? A feather spine? I feel like spine's the right word. You know, the bit down the center of a feather. I use the hard light foam for all of these longer feathers just because they're going to be the ones that require the most durability and sturdiness. And so all of these craft foam feathers are creating the slightly shorter ones that are going to sit on top of those. Hopefully won't be too much of an issue.
20
but they're
years
a bit more
old.
delicate. Seeing them layered
So,
like this, you can get an idea for how it creates
2
that beautiful
years.
shape once they're heat formed. So now we are heading out to the garage, and each of these is getting several layers of
Oh,
white
thank you, Kitty Paws. 1, 2, 3.
Why is the word plastidip so hard to say? I've always really gotten tongue-tied over it. Anyway, letting them dry between each of the layers as I layer up, I had about
I have a messed up.
in the end, and then I started adding on a coat or two.
I have a
of,
messed
like,
up sleep
just
schedule,
plain matte
so.
white spray paint. I have found in the past, like, ultra matte
But,
spray paints are really
so,
the best if you're planning on painting
I-
over the top of them. Alright, so all of my feathers are done.
Oh, thank you, David Plumley. Plumley. I'm sorry if I butchered your name the first time, but I hope I said it right.
So, to paint a bit of texture on these wings, I'm just going over and brushing along the sides here, just leaving those streaks in to sort of mimic that fluffy
You are
texture
forgiven,
of feathers.
Terrifier.
All of my feathers are looking absolutely lovely. They've all now dried. You do get a little bit of a pink glow from a certain angle with these ones, partly because, of course, I've got the pink underside here. So what I'm going to do with these ones is I am going to go back over the underside and paint just along the outside here.
We're
so
gonna
that the
get
underside
into
only shows up with that same brown.
introducing you guys to the characters, to the people who are new.
Okay, good morning.
So, the first one is a character who is, who is on my channel like a lot. So, the first one you are going to be introduced to is my warrior queen Glacier, and she has armor, and before you ask, yes, I did make this. Yes, I did make these, except for this. Except for the top armor pieces of her arm. And then this. This is all of the stuff she wears underneath the armor. And this is the stuff that she wears under. So. And there goes the mask. And there goes the mask.
The wing. I'm going to cut off the excess feathers at the top here to round out back to the shape of that wing. And yes, I am running the top of this wing through the sewing machine. I know you don't usually sew through EVA foam, but this foam is thin enough and my sewing machine heavy duty enough
Since
to
we
get
went
through
over
it.
my
And
character
it'll help reinforce
Glacier,
and hold the feathers
so we're
in
gonna
place, even if the glue
get introduced
isn't as
to
strong as I would like. Okay, row number 2, let's go.
my character Glacier's sister,
a second row through the sewing machine, but it worked all right.
Blizzard.
So I think I'm
Yeah,
gonna
this is
leave that. I'm
the
not gonna try and
this
fix
was the
the third row.
costume that the costume she wears is a dance costume I wore for my last dance year with Power of Dance. And before you guys ask, yes, Power of Dance is a dance studio out in Howard, and I'm just using this costume for Blizzard because it fits her vibe. And up here, the mask here, people did mistake this one for as like a Wings of Fire, but it wasn't Wings of Fire. It was her headpiece that represented her dragon Thistle, and I didn't show you guys the mask for Blizzard. So this is the mask for Blizzard that fell earlier, and if you're not seeing through the whole eye holes very easily, I put a lot of tulle at the back of it, and so then it would give Glacier more of a mysterious vibe to her, because she needs to be mysterious like that, so people can't read her emotions, her opponents can't read her emotions,
which is just
in
enough
battle.
extra dimension from what I was hoping for. But I
So
wasn't quite done, so I actually
that was
went back
Blizzard.
over them and added
So
these
now,
white speckle dots. I have no idea
now
quite what I was
we're
going
gonna
for here, but I like
do
the end effect anyway.
Penelope,
Good morning,
my
my
lavender
loves.
dragon.
It is about 3 degrees warmer today, which is not much, but it's enough that I'm taking that opportunity
And
to get out of my blanket hoodies and
this is Penelope. This is Penelope's
so
dress, and she wears
fashion choice, I guess. Anyway,
flower crown that I'm wearing,
wonderful. I'm really happy with the
the dress, the corset belt, and a white wig. So that was Glacier. That was Penelope. So
but I think I'm going to leave that for future Charlotte to deal with. For now,
I'm
figure
gonna,
out how to attach things.
and then I'm gonna show off one more cosplay, and then
hooks on my shirt. It wasn't the best idea. So the same way I made the waistband for the pants, I'm just wrapping some of this jersey fabric around the piece of elastic. But I did take the elastic out and turn
I'll
this
show off
inside
one more
out
character,
and
and then
elastic
I'm
back through,
gonna
just
hop
because
off.
this is gonna have a lot of those seams showing, so I want to make sure they look a little bit neat. I'm sewing on a couple
So,
little squares of Velcro
this
to
is
either end, and that's it
Yamaya's
for the making both the wrist
cosplay,
cuffs and the elbow cuffs. I sewed just
because
the very
Yamaya,
edge to the top of the wings here,
how
and then
Yamaya
again for
came
the
to me,
straps around the
she
middle
was
of where
like,
my elbow's gonna be. I'm
she's
making
a
this look like
vengeful
an easy,
sea
but it's
goddess
actually
who was
tedious and
wronged
just took
by
me ages to get
a
everything
mortal
right.
who
Using the
killed
same
her
process
son.
with this thicker piece of elastic,
So
I'm
I
gonna
needed
bend the pieces down
another
so across my
character
back.
who was
No Velcro
strong
for
and
this one, I'm just getting
powerful.
some loops of the smaller
And
elastic that are gonna go around my shoulders.
I'm not sure when she when Yamaya first came to me, but I use this dress, the dress that she wears, for other cosplays as well, but mainly for her cosplay. So I'm gonna
sew this little back corner here, somewhere around here. It's just going to be enough to kind of hold it in place while it's moving around on my arm. And then
so
it also means that, like, if I want to use
now
my
I'm gonna hop
like,
off and hop off up here and actually I tried to get some sleep because I know I started this live very late, but I know most of you guys are already asleep. Most of my subscribers are already asleep, but thank you for all who supported me, and I'll see you on February 28th, or when you get to hang out with Penelope the Lavender Dragon. So, see you later, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And yes, to answer anyone's questions, if anyone wants to edit my videos, like make cool edits of any of my videos, tag me in them so I can see them, so, and then I can get more out there on YouTube, and don't forget to enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, wherever you live. I will see you next time. Bye. Come out really strong on the dye here. Like, this is fully dry. It's been washed. I did forget to mention